Hello everyone, very good evening. And I would like to welcome you all for the second day of this EDL program. And I'm Leela from ExcelR Solutions. So yesterday I had given you a brief idea how you can access our LMS dashboard, right? So I'll be letting you know clearly today by giving you all instructions by accessing our LMS dashboard. Okay, so team, I hope I'm very much clear to you all. Like my voice is clear to you, everybody, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for the confirmation. So I'll share my screen and give you the KT on it. Like, just give me a second. So I hope you all can see my screen.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
So team, yesterday, as I mentioned, as soon as you register for this particular program, you would have received an email. Like, do not get bored if you are already aware of these kind of steps, but with keeping the new members, the new register participants in mind, we are letting the process again. Okay, so team, as you register for this particular program, you would have received an email saying that welcome to ExcelR / verify your account. So if you observe this mail clearly, you may see a link to set your password and as well as to verify your account. So here, as a given arrow mark, you have to click on this link and set your password to the LMS. Okay, and then you will be redirected to our platform, which is onlinelearning.excelr.com. And then as soon as you receive this course access of LMS, you again would have received an email from us saying welcome to this particular EDL program. Okay, so team, I'll show you. So go to any of the browser and search using onlinelearning.excelr.com as I did here, and immediately you will be redirected to a page. I'll show you that. So this is how our web page reflects on your browser. So onlinelearning.excelr.com. So there you will be seeing three options on your right top side. Okay, but do not do anything with store and register, but you need to click on sign in. Okay, so once you click on sign in, a dialog box which appears, and you need to enter your registered email ID and the password you have set up. Okay, so I'm giving my credentials here. Okay, as I have given my registered email ID and the password which I have set up using the mail received from ExcelR. So I'll be redirected to our LMS dashboard. Okay, so in which I'll be seeing all the available tabs. Just give us a second, it is getting loaded. Okay. Yes. So here, if you can observe clearly, you will be seeing all the tabs available. The first thing is home. So under home tab, whatever the course access you have, the classroom's access will be reflected on your home tab. As this program is an application based training on advanced Excel, PowerPoint and Word, right? So I could see the very first access is that classroom only. So this is the classroom where you will be having all the access materials, recorded sessions, assignments and vagaira. Okay, so this is the classroom you need to access, and before going to the classroom, I would like to let you know the ways to join this session. So the very first thing is you need to log in into the LMS dashboard, and then under this home tab, this is the home tab I'm referring. Okay, under this home tab on your right hand side, you will see a tab called today's session, right? So under today's session, so every day, whenever there is a session, a pop-up or a reminder kind of notification appear on your screen to join this particular session. So you can come to the dashboard around 6:45 or before 7. So you will be seeing this option on your LMS to join. So if you click on this join button, it will redirect you to the Zoom application. As I already have joined, so it will not redirect it. So you can click on this proceed and you will be logging into Zoom application. Okay, so this is the first way how you can join the session. And the second way is, so this is the classroom, right, as I referred. So you can see this right arrow, right? So click on this and you will be redirected to the classroom page, and where you see two tabs. One is curriculum and the second one is meet. So the second way to join the session is under meet tab. You will see a calendar schedule. So as it is 8th November today, so you will see a schedule named Advanced Excel, PowerPoint and Word Day 2. So, and again you see a join option here. This is the second way where you can join the Zoom session from LMS. These are two ways. Okay. And the second way which we are referring you to join is YouTube Live. So we will be letting you know the YouTube link every day. So if the Zoom limit exceeds or the capacity reach the maximum count, you can watch the live happening in our ExcelR's YouTube channel. Okay, that is the second way how you can watch the session. And if both the ways are not possible, like if you are unable to join Zoom or if you are unable to watch the YouTube session happening, and there is another alternative way where you can come to the curriculum tab, and under this curriculum tab you will see four different tabs or four different folders. One is attendance submission and the second one is session recordings. So the third way to refer or join the session is, in this session recordings, every day we will be availing all the sessions. For suppose yesterday the session has happened, right? So it is available under tab called day 1. Okay, if you click on this video button, the yesterday's recording session will be available to you. And if you click on day 2, the live which is happening now will be visible to you on your LMS, and you can watch the session here. Okay, this is the third way. So team, I'm repeating the things again. The first way to join the session is from LMS under today's session tab. That is going to be Zoom. And the second one is, if you are unable to join the Zoom, you can watch the YouTube live happening. And the third thing is, if you are unable to join any of the ways, either Zoom or YouTube, you can still be in LMS, and under curriculum tab, the second folder which is session recordings, and day wise your schedules will be renamed. So suppose today it is day 2, right? So if you can click on day 2 and you will see the live happening. If it is day 3, tomorrow, still you will see the live happening. And these sessions will be useful and will be used as a reference or recorded sessions for you in future. So yesterday this session will be available to you as a recording, and it is for your future reference. Okay, so coming to all the tabs, team. Okay, so you can see 4 tabs, right? In your curriculum tab, if you click on, I'll show you again. So this is the classroom, right? So you see 2 options. One is curriculum and the second one is meet. So under curriculum, you see 4 folders available. So attendance submissions. Coming to this attendance submission, as we mentioned already in the yesterday's session, so you are supposed to give your attendance response. So we will be capturing all your responses and we will calculate your attendance based on the responses we received. So if you acquire 60% of the attendance for particular this program, so we will be giving you participation certificate after this program gets completed. Okay, so all you have to do is you have to click on this attendance submission, and you see a line appearing here. Please submit your response here. So click on that and you will see a Google response sheet here. As it is active in between 8:30 to 9:30, if you visit the LMS and if you come to this particular folder, this link will be available and it accepts your responses. Okay, so come at 8:30 or in between 8:30 to 9:30, you will be able to give your response. So this is how you can submit your response of this particular program. Okay, and then coming to the second folder, which is session recordings. So as I already referred it, these recording sessions will be available for the lifetime in your LMS, and you can refer them any of the time. Okay, and coming to the third tab, which is materials. So whatever is going to be teach you in the training process, be it reference materials or practice kind of sheets, we will be uploading them topic wise. So you can refer those materials from here, and also you can download the practice sheets team. So if that is PDF or any kind of materials, you can access them from LMS directly. So I'll show you the adjustments as well. Suppose if you observe my screen, this is kind of small, right? So I can adjust it to full screen, and then one moment. So or else I can adjust this grid views. So all page will be visible. So then I can select the page which I want, and also I can refer this. So all these adjustments you can do it. Okay. And if you scroll it down, there is a download option also. This is practice sheet. So where you can download this file to your device and you can practice by your own. This is PDF and this is kind of file. So whenever our trainer suggests you to practice, so we will be uploading topic wise, and you can download those files and practice by yourself. Okay, so the coming to the last step, which is assignments. So once the program is done, we will upload few assignments for your practice, so you can test your knowledge by working on those assignments. So as it is starting of the session, we have not uploaded any of the assignments, and if we upload any assignments in this folder called assignments, you will be seeing a option called download. So again, if you click on this download, that particular file will be downloaded to your device and you can work on that. Okay, so these are the 4 folders which are available in your curriculum tab, and you can access them. Okay, so team, so I just want to remind you again, so give your attendance response using the link provided to you in this attendance submission folder, so that we will be calculating your responses and consider your attendance, and we will be giving you the participation certificate once the program is completed. Okay, so thank you team. So if you have any questions or queries regarding LMS access or any of the possible like challenges you are facing, you can drop us an email to edl@excelr.com. Our team will support you on the same. And also I believe few of you faced few technical glitches like verification failed and all, right? So you, as I mentioned yesterday, you can come to the web like our website onlinelearning.excelr.com and click on sign in. There you have to give your registered email ID and click on forget password. So you will be having a privilege to set your password again to the LMS dashboard. Then you will receive an email to verify your account. If not, if you already logged into the LMS but you have not verified your account, then a pop-up will appear on your home tab saying verify your email. So here you can click on this blue highlighted tab, that is resend verification email, and then you have to choose verify your email out of these 2 options. One is update email and the second one is verify your email. So if you can click on this verify your email, your account will get verified and you can access this LMS for the lifetime without any restrictions. Okay, so in case of any queries, you can drop us an email, and we wish you happy learning team. Thank you. Thanks for your time, and thanks for joining the call today. Nadim?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nadim, for your time. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Good evening. A quick check. I hope I'm audible. Please drop a text. Yeah, that should be all. My screen is visible. Somebody says, no, my screen is not visible. Great. Okay, so let's do a quick recap on what we discussed yesterday. We spoke about what workbook is, what are the different type of workbooks which are available around during working, Excel SX, CSV, ExcelSB and ExcelSM. What are cells? How are they identified? What are rows? What are columns? And how many sheets, or how to add sheet, how to remove sheet. And we spoke about the ribbon which is available on the top. What is a name box? What is a formula bar? Then we spoke about what is status bar, which comes on the bottom. So today's agenda, we will be talking about some basic understanding or basic beginning, what you need to know about formulas and functions. So this is going to be a lot of hands-on practice. I recommend you to please open your LMS and download the file name employees from your assessment. Keep it ready, handy. If you're not available on system, I recommend you to have it available, because it is better if you work together and apply it in real time. I mean, doing it later can be a concern. Right. So to start with, let's first understand the basics of how to begin a formula, or what is a formula. Now, I'm sure or pretty confident that people know what is a calculator, right? If somebody has to just say sum two numbers or two or more numbers, all he will do is write number 10, then plus add another and say 10, then add another and say 10 again. So you say add plus and then use another symbol plus, etc., etc., and then finally you give is equal to. Then you get to see the final amount of it, which would be 10 into 10 into 10. Oh, sorry, 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is 30. Cells part, can you repeat again? Okay, let me give a brief. What is a cell? Basically, anywhere that I click is a cell, which can be identified from here, which is an active cell. Now, what is a cell? Cell is basically an intersection between a row and a column. I hope that helps. Now, I have some amount of information written here. These are also cells. Cell A1 has got 10, cell B1 has 1, cell C1 has 10, and then etc. etc. Now, we need to know how to work in an Excel sheet. I know how to use a calculator, right? A calculator is like adding 1 plus 1, etc. Right, so we are pretty sure that you type a number and just give plus and then finally give is equal to, you get to see the final number on your screen. But how does it happen in Excel? Is it limited that I can use only calculator functions, or it can go beyond it? Yes, Excel can do a lot more than what a calculator can do. So to begin with, let's try to understand what operators are. What are operators? Like, so any machine you call, it needs some way of fuel or some way of operating it, right, along with the fuel. Now very similarly, if you want to operate Excel, there are certain ways how you need to use it. So for example, if you want to add up two numbers, very simply add up two numbers, how do you sum them up? Yesterday we spoke about how to check a quick summary of whatever you have selected on the status bar is by highlighting them. But now I am telling, can you tell me the total here? How do we do it in Excel? Now, good thing to remember, or important fact to remember, is that all formulas and functions in Excel begin with the first operator, which is equal to, or in the equal symbol. Any function or formula that you write in Excel starts with an equals to symbol. Now here, we do not hard code anything like this, right? We don't write this, that it is equal to 10 plus 20. The output may be same, but tomorrow if you change this to this will not change. Why? Because it has got no reference to this cell, right? It is not actually talking that check what is there in A1, check what is there in B2, add both of them. No, that is not happening. So we spoke about how to begin a formula. You just add an equals to. Then first thing is that you refer the cell where the data is available. So I'm telling, look what is written in A2. I am giving only the address, not the value which is inside it. The system will decide that A1 has value which is 20. I am adding a plus and telling, please also select A2. Then I give enter, it shows that the output is 40. Now, what is the benefit of writing it like this is that tomorrow, if you change anything here, then the output will update by itself, right? Why? Because you have done referencing to a cell and not to the value in your output, right? Any questions for me till here? If anybody has anything, right? The first operator we spoke about is how to begin a formula. Is you need to write a equals to symbol. It is allowed that you can write a plus symbol also, but then after you complete your function or your formula, it will automatically add equals to in the beginning. So it doesn't really matter how do you change the value. Yeah, I can do that. Let's say I change this value to 50, then the number changes. So 50 plus 8 is equal to 50. So we are still at the beginning phase of identifying what operators do we use. So we use is equal to symbol for comparing two things. I will talk about what is comparing in a bit. Comparing is I need 5 answers for the first problem. Apple is equal to apple. True or false? Yeah, we'll answer multiplications as well. Just stay with me for some time. I need 5 answers. Apple is equal to apple. Is it true or false? Right, I got 3, 5. Excellent. Thank you so much. So we use the operator is equal to begin the formula. I refer a cell and put another operator equals to this. Then the output of it is going to be true. Same stuff I will redo again. Apple is equal to mango. The output is going to be, any guesses? Excellent. The first person to answer. Right, so the output is going to be false. So the equals to symbol is for two reasons. Begin a formula or a function, or to compare two stuff, right? So you have two numbers, two alphabets, two values, you want to compare them, then you use a is equal to symbol. Now let's say I had some amount of apples, which is 10. Per apple costed 100 rupees. Now, what do you do to ensure that you get the value as 1000? Everybody knows that 10 into 100 is equal to 1000. Now, how do we write it? Could you please show the formula of comparison once again? I can do that. I am telling apple cell J3 is equal to cell K3, right? I complete the formula by using control enter, then it's telling true. Similarly, I'm telling J4 is equal to K4. The output is false, right? So now I'm telling this is quantity, this is rate. Tell me the total. How do we calculate? I know that the formula, or in this situation, the formula should start with equals to. Now I need to multiply these two stuff. Now I can't use equal to as an operator. I will use the star sign, which is shift 8, and multiply two cells, which is L3 into M3. The output is going to be 1000. Similarly, I had some 30 mangoes. Rate per mango, let's say, is 50. How do I calculate it? All I need to do is copy and paste here. Then I get the same formula borrowed from above to here, or I can do it is equal to this, put a multiplication or a star sign and complete the formula by using enter or control enter. Right, so now what we just did can also be done using the function. Now there could be a question as in what is a function and what is a formula. Just keep your doubts there, I will get back to you. So the next operator we spoke about is multiplication. This is used to multiply two or more values. from two or more values. Now let's say if we want to do a subtraction, then I will have to use a minus symbol. If I want to do a division, then I will have to use a forward slash option. So let's say I want to divide this into 3 people. Number of people. There are 3 people. Now if I want to divide them, what will I do? I say 1000 divided by 3 per person will get us 333. What is the operator that we used here? We had 2 cells. We started our function with equals to, use the operator forward slash to divide. So this is minus, this is divide. Anybody else, anything else that you feel comes to your mind? Right, so you have percentage symbol, you have power of ratio. Anyways, these are less oftenly used. We can discuss it and not invest time on this and discuss some real stuff. Now, when we spoke about is equal to, similar, there are some more comparison operators which are used in combination with a lot of stuff. So for example, this one talks about lesser than, this one talks about greater than, this one tells not equal, this means lesser than or equal, this means greater than equal. Most or divide again. I mean, yeah, so there is a question to repeat the divide process again. So I'm telling there are, the cost is 1000 and I want to divide it between the 3 people. So I start the function by is equal to total cost divided by number of people. So I use the forward slash here to divide the value. I hope that answers the question. Yeah, modulo also comes in. Anyway, not at the moment as a relevant topic to discuss. So I will only take you through the initial or largely used functions. So along with the is equal to as a comparison operator, we also have 3 more, in fact actually 2 more operators, but yes, they are combined with uh, themselves and sometime with is equal to know what exactly to do. So this means this is greater than, this means lesser than, or equal to, this is greater than, or equal to, this is equal to. Okay, so there's a question here which tells, in when you place an operator, if the output is true, what does it mean? It's very simply that the two things that you're trying to compare are equal. That's exactly what true or false means. Whatever you're trying to test it's actually matching. Right? We will pick up some real examples for you to understand what exactly it means. Now, these are comparison, these are mathematical operators. Now, let me talk about some of the operators or some of the signs that we generally use. That means your formula is incorrect here. So there is a question that if the value, the output is coming as value, what is the problem? I mean, what do we conclude as? It's very simple that the data that you are trying to write is incorrect. The order of it is improper. Now, when we write a formula, it starts with an is equal to, and then you write a function. Now, let's talk about what is the difference between a function and a formula. Now, I have two numbers here. There is one way of calculating it, which is telling the system that here, do this for me is add two numbers, which is v2 plus v1. The output is 58. But is there a way that I can use it differently. Let's say if the numbers are huge, right? So for example, I have some numbers here and I want to sum it. So I cannot say this plus this plus this plus this, right? And it'll take ages for to calculate. But now, is there a shorter way to do it? Yes, there is something called as a inbuilt function called sum, right? Sum can do addition with any amount of range that you supply. Now, what is the difference between these two? Is that here you don't have to really specify cell by cell. Instead, you need to choose the range. Range is in this case is B1 to B2, which is given with a two dots divided between, versus a formula which is inbuilt. Now, what is the difference between a formula and a function? Is formulas are universal, which are available in any calculator, right? So adding two stuff is available in calculator, but here you need to specify each number manually, right? It could be a cell reference also. You can do that, but then you will have to choose one by one. But with a function, like an inbuilt function of Excel called sum, you can choose any amount of range and then calculate. So very similar. Similarly, we had done a multiplication here. We will put this as a actual formula here. Right. So now I want to know, is there a way that I can do this calculation with a function? So yes, there is an option called product where you choose the cells you want to multiply, right? So there is a process of it. I will explain what exactly this means. Product is an inbuilt function. You give the argument, which is here the argument says just tell me for what is the first number, second number, third number. Now I have only two numbers, so I'm supplying these two, closing the bracket, I get the output, right? This, whatever we did, is taking help of an inbuilt function. What we did here is making use of the universal process called calculation or mathematics. It's easy to use. You can do with more numbers or row columns. Yes, you can do with more number of rows and columns, right? So the inbuilt functions are more uh, uh, easy to use and very productive, more accurate, because if you try to use anything manually, you may tend to miss one row, one cell, one column. Then you end up, there is no, what is the, for subtraction, there is no function available. You will have to use minus. But yes, you can use sum with minus. I mean, sum, minus is always between two numbers, right? So there is no way how you can uh, reduce numbers into thousands or millions of rows. Right, so the difference between a formula and a function, good to know information is formulas are universal, functions are inbuilt, which are application based, right? Only application supports something. Similarly, like there are other competitive worksheets which are available on ground. They may have their own functions which are available in them but not available in Excel. But Excel may have some or lot of functions, but the other competitors may not have them. So when we write a function, right, you need to remember is this follows an order. What is the order? First is that you write an is equal to, then you supply what kind of function that you are calling for, then you add parenthesis, which is this. It starts with the open bracket, then you give the arguments which are available, applicable based on the function that you choose. So in our case, we had very simple sum and product. So it means it will have to just select the argument is take cell 1, cell 2, then do a sum. Here again, we had to do was take product of M3 and L3, which is basically multiply the product of this value and this value. So that is what a function did for us. So when we write a function or formula, a function specifically, you start with is equal to, you put a bracket, then give the arguments as per the function that you have chosen, and then you close it. In order to keep the mathematics in process, this is neatly written as something like this, which is called parenthesis, equation, multiplication, division, addition, then subtraction. That's the order. Parenthesis, equation, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So whenever you write a formula, you want to get an output, you need to ensure that you make use of parentheses wherever applicable. Try to follow this ordinal where equation comes first, multiplication later, division after that addition, and then subtraction. This is the order of writing a function. Now, may not be relevant at this stage, just an FYI, write it somewhere. We'll talk about it when we get some real data in our hands. Then we will try to figure out. P stands for parenthesis, E stands for equation, and for multiplication, D for division, addition, and then subtraction. Right, so these are commonly used functions or operators that we call, right? So is equal to, into, multiplication, minus, division, etc. E stands for equation. Okay, so let's step to the next part of it, or before we do it, let's take a quick breather. We missed one important part of from the ribbon, which is the clipboard section here, and especially the paste option. Now, everybody has the habit of taking data from somewhere and reusing it, right? It's pretty common that you will have to use a copy paste quite frequently. Now, I want 5 people who can answer how to do a copy paste. I need 5 people who can answer how to copy, how to paste. Okay, right. So I have 4 answers. Great, great. Okay, right. So now all I need to do to copy would be is first do is selection. Now I'm using my shift and down arrow key. I'm not using my mouse. I'm using shift down arrow key and highlighting it. So whatever you want to copy, first thing you need to do would be is highlight it, copy and paste. Okay, copy and paste. Now let's say I had 10%. Right. So now if I want to calculate the bonus of this person, I'll have to say this plus open parenthesis this into 10%. Okay, let me not add it and calculate bonus separately. So 10% goes as bonus and it is available here. Like, quickly observe what happens to my data. So I want to know the first 5 people, right? These are the first 5 people. What are their names? What is the bonus they will get? Okay, so these are the 5 people. Just quickly observe. I'm on screen so that we can do it together. Right, so if the screens are available to you, right, so now I will do is copy. My copy is done. I will have to paste the values here. So somebody said do a control V to paste. Just observe what happened. It became 0. Why? Because when you copy a formula and move the same formula to another sheet, it will move the formula, not the value, right? We actually want the value. Now you cannot tell that Mickey has got zero bonus, Kelly has zero bonus, Don has zero bonus. No, actually the bonus is something else. So when you use Excel, you cannot only do a copy, which is Control C and Control V. Instead, you need to paste values, right? So how do we paste values is, you can go to paste special. Here you have values, right? You see paste values here. Now if I paste this, now you see that there is no zero here. Instead, there is actual value, right? I will redo it again, that I need top 5 people. I want their numbers to be copied, which is bonus I just calculated, and I want it to be available separately here, and I want to email it to somebody. If I paste it, it's gone, right? If you don't want to do that, what you need to do would be is Control Z is the shortcut to do away whatever you did. Go to paste special, paste values. Now here you get to see the real numbers, not the formula that was written inside. Right, so now let me try showing it to you in a shorter way. So I've selected same 5 people. Get this dialog box by using your keyboard. Press Alt E S V. I'll do it for you here. I'll say Alt E S. S will bring up the dialog box. I want to paste values. The underline of letter V is here, so I'll press V. There is selected V, and I click OK. So I got the values here. Then taking your cursor here, clicking on this, and then pasting here. Better use the shortcut, which is Alt E S. Then the S will open the paste special dialog box, and press V to get values. Very similar to this, you can paste only formulas. So let's assume this is copied here. I want to say that this time don't copy values, instead copy formulas, which is whatever is written inside it as a formula. Copy that. If I have to do that, I will have to say to this time please copy formulas. So I will use F for my cursor to come there. Click OK. This time I get to see the formula has come. It's telling P2 into 10%. P2 is Mickey, so it will not work. This was just an example to tell you that you can paste value, you can paste formula, you can paste format, right? So for example, let's say that these 3 cells are colored and they have a border. I don't want my actual cells value to change. I want only the formatting to come. Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. All I need to do is copy the area that you want to repeat to the other place. Choose the formats option. Alt S T. T stands for formats. Click OK. And you get to see that the same formatting is applied to everybody. So that's the beauty of paste special. Even if you are getting data from some website, so for instance, I will want to get something, guys. Let's say, okay, here. So I have this text highlighted. I will copy this and I want to bring it to my Excel sheet. Now this has taken the formatting along with it. I don't want that. I want a plain text which is in Calibri format, because entire text here is in the same font. Now how do I do that? All I need to do would be the same stuff. Alt E S text. I don't want any other thing but only the text. Now you get to see that Paste Special did the magic. It did not take the format, color, or the hyperlinks. It pasted only the text for you. Right? So that's all about copy paste. When you are dealing with Excel, be sure that you always copy and paste values. Alt SV to ensure that whatever data you're sending to the next person, is not lost. The other person receives only the values. Fair. So we have undo option. Yeah, Control Z, Control Y. There's a question here that is there a way to undo something? So let's say I have pasted this accidentally here. I want to do away with it. So here are the arrow keys which are available by default, but Control Z is the way to get rid of it. Control Y is to redo. Control Z and Control Y to redo and undo. Right, so let's move to the next part of it and try to figure out some of the, please explain P and E. Would P, dear, P stands for parenthesis, E stands for equation, the single it is pointing to the top. Right, so let's move on and talk about some of the basic functions that you may want to use when you are dealing with any sort of data. So we spoke about what is sum, what is product. Let's try to understand how to get the system date into Excel. So you see that there is a date here which is 8th of November. Now how do I get it in the system? Now if you want to do it, the Excel shortcut is a hard-coded control colon, but then this will remain as is. Next time when you open, the date will remain as is. Not the recommended way. If you want something to be updated by itself, use the function called today is equal to today. It will tell the system time. So tomorrow when you open this file again, this date will change to tomorrow's date. Now here I don't see the time available. Now if you want time to be available, make use of the function now. These do not have any other argument that can come within the parenthesis. You need to mention only open and close, right? So to get date, use today. To get time, use now. Now we know what is a sum. Sum means it is a function, inbuilt function, which can add two or more numbers. Similarly, product is a function which can multiply two or more numbers. The arguments here are you need to supply cells, be it with a comma, or you can use this, which is a colon. Here again, you can use, you need to use the comma here. Cells separated with a comma, then it will, so you can use a direct reference with a colon as well. Then you can do a multiplication. Now, very similarly, let's now talk about how do I know how many rows of data is available. Now, the very simple or easy way is to highlight the column, get to see what is the count of it, right? It tells that the total length of it or the number of rows available here, which are filled is 200. Now, is there a way that you can do it with the help of a function? Yes, you can. You can use count A. A stands for alphabet. Here, I will tell you what. Sorry for the interruption. Right, so I will tell you the difference between count and count A in a few. Just stay with me. Now, here there are only alphabets and numbers. So basically, this data is not having only numbers, but it is a mix of alphabets and numbers, which is alphanumerical. Count A is the better suited one because this guy will count both numbers and alphabets. Whereas you have another function called count. Count will only count the number of any highlighted range and the numbers available. You get to see that I have about 200 rows, but the first guy is having alphanumeric characters. The rest of all are numbers. So that's why the count here could give only cells where numbers are present. Right? But here it counts alphabets, right? It counts anything that comes in a particular row, be it a number or a alphabet. Count A does that trick. Very similarly, we have something called as count blank. What does count blank do? You supply any range to it, it will tell you how many blank cells are there. So for now it shows that it is 10. Let me add some data manually for you. Right. So this was the range that I selected, which is still row number 10. I highlighted for you. Right. So I have selected the range, all of it, and I'm asking the system to tell me that within J1 to J10, J1 to J10, how many blanks are there? This guy is calculating, running 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then calculate and tells me the final number of blanks within a range. Now, if you remember yesterday, I calculated the number of blanks for a sheet for a particular column. How did we do it? We told say count the blank, select the complete column, which is P to P, and close. It will tell how many empty rows are there. Similarly, if you want to know how many columns are there, all I would do is count blank, select the complete column. I'm referring to row number 203. This will count all the available columns. Right, so that's the benefit of count blank. Now let's try to know a little more about this data. I'm moving this column here. Now, there are some functions which can extract a piece of information from a given value. Let's talk about date, right? Let's say I want to know dates of these 200 people. All I need to know is the date of this particular date of start, whatever is mentioned here. I want to extract only date. How do we do it? Here it is 01, so I will write 01. This guy is also 01. This guy is also 01. No, this is a clerical work. No, not really right way to do it. We have an inbuilt function in Excel called day. All I need to do would be is copy, apply it to all. Right? If you observe, it has picked up all the days wherever right information is available. Right? So most of it is having 111. First of all, has different dates. However, day as a function can tell you day extracts the from given date. This can work only if you supply a number. So if you say for accounts give me a day, he will throw value at it. Why? Because there is no number in this. How do I figure out a day for you? So it's not going to work. So getting a day is possible only if there is a date field. Similarly, we have the other stuff as well, which is month. Month will give you a month from a particular given date. And very similarly, you have guess. I know I'm too late. So you can get the year very similar to what we did for date, month, and day and month. Right, so this is about day, month, year. Now there may be requirements where I'm not interested to get the month as a number. Instead, I want a date. H of total. Can you please tell that how to get total of H? Total of H. You mean to say H is a date, so you can't get a total of date. Maybe you want to ask a question. So there's a question which tells, can you get me the total of date? Total of date may not work. Yeah, there's another interesting questions. Are functions case sensitive? Should I write year in lowercase only or first letter capital? Irrespective of what you do, the system will auto deduct it and reword. It is not case sensitive. Okay, so all the modern functions are less case sensitive. They don't really rely on case. So now there's a question tells how do I calculate the total of earnings? Here the column is earning. How do I calculate the total of it? All I need to do would be is do sum of G2 to G200. Now the shortcut I used was alt is equal to, and do it on the screen. And this covers the entire screen. I don't see equal to symbol. There it is. Right, so it picked up or did the selection up till the top. That's the shortcut though, but otherwise if you want to do it manually, you need to do is type sum, select the range, control shift up and give enter. It will calculate the total. Anyway, not the exact topic. I hope that answers your question here. Count A is coming to 100. Why count A is coming to 100? Which part? Yeah, because the alphabets. So there's a good question here. Here, the column is count A. Why is it 200? Why? Because all these are alphabets from row number 1 till 200. So it is counting alphabets. That's why it is 200. But here, count I is actually numbers. So it is ignoring the first guy because it is alphabetic and counting only numbers. That's why it is 199. Okay. Okay, I'll quickly read what is count blank. Count blank is a function which can count empty cells in any given range. Range is any start place to the end place. You just highlight it and then it can count the blanks. So here it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Answer, if you observe, it is 9. So any range that you choose in count blank will throw total number of empty cells. So let's get back to the case. We are talking about extracting information from the given date. So we know how to get a day, how to get a month, how to get year. Now, what if I want this AUG to be available here? I don't want anything else. Keep this with you. All I want is I want you to show this to me, this to me, this to me, right? A quick tip as we go on. Within Excel, there is a beautiful feature called flash fill. See that on my screen? I mean, what did I do is I tell my Excel that, try to get August from H. I'm just typing. I'm not doing anything else. I'm telling get Jan. I'm telling get June. The system has given me the recommendation already. If you want to do it, all you need to do would be is, okay, I am in agreement. Repeat it. Just say Control E. It will do a flash fill. It will do the same activity for all the other cells. And it was just a tip that's called flash fill. Let's try to do it with the help of function. So we have a function in Excel called text. It has got two arguments. First one is the value, which is going to be this, and then What format do you want? I want month in 3 letters. So I will put double quote, supply my information that I want month in 3 letters. I give control enter, it's picked up the month. I'll simply copy it and apply it to all. So I got month for all of them, right? Pretty easy. If you're not familiar with flash fill, flash fill may not work in all the cases to the tip though, but if you want to do it yourself, text followed by what data you want to get from it, this is the idle option. You can simply change the output that you're looking for. So now here, let's say I want the full month, which is August. All I need to do is increase one more M and I get all the months. Why 4 M's? Is because May is the smallest, that's why it is 3. If you write 4, the system identifies that you need complete month. Now similarly, if you want the day, and I need to do is press DD, which will give you 2 numbers of a day. If you give DDD, it will give you name of the day in 3 letters, which is Tuesday. If you say the same thing but tell me the full day of the month, then you say DDDD, which is 4 times. Right? So to get the complete name of the day, all you need to do is add 4 Ds, complete name of the month, add 4 M's, get only 3 letters of the month, then use M. If you want to, you can use 2 as well, but then that will be a text. It is better to use month as a function to get a number. I hope you remember what a left aligned data is, what is the right aligned data. I'll quickly give you an example here. See, the function itself is saying text, and I'm telling give me 2 numbers. If you closely observe, my text is left aligned. If I tell the same thing, give me day, quickly observe, here the text is right aligned. Why? Because this is a number, this is a text. So whenever you write text and ask you to get day in 2 or month in 2 letters, it will always be in text format. If you want to convert it to value, which is a number, you need to use another function called value. No arguments, just apply the text you want to. It will convert the text into number. Long lot of information though. Right, so now let's say I want to merge or view the data in a specific format, which is merge month and date together, and I don't want year, right? All I need to do would be is add my customized option here, operator here. So let's say I want a hyphen. I am fond of it. But here again, it is a text. It has omitted the year which is available here, and it is only showing the date and month. Similarly, if I say that I want you to show me month and the year, 4 and 2 is the option. You can use 4Ys or 2Ys. 2Ys will give you the last 2 digits of the year. 4Ys will give you complete year. So that's the way how you extract piece of information from a given date. Alto CA, there's a question here, how you are resizing the column quickly. I think we discussed about this yesterday. If I want to resize it, just do the selection, press Alt C on your keyboard, it will auto adjust. Okay, so these are about some of the functions. Let's step a little closer to what we actually want to learn. So we spoke about count A. Count A will count numbers and alphabets. Count will count only numbers. Count blank will count anything within a given range or criteria, and blanks. Alt C has no shortcut. Alto CA is the shortcut. Anyways, sorry for that. Now I have some amount of people here. So for example, there are departments, and I will hide this for some time and say I want to take departments. Then try doing this. So I have departments. I need to know how many people work here. Now, if I'm being asked, I will have to sit and do is select this and say count, and I see there are 9 people, so I will say 9. Then marketing, I will do is select this, find marketing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. All that is not going to happen. Is there a function that it can do is what did we try to do actually is in a very easily understandable language. I'm telling count if the cell range is equal to this. I will have to tell the system that do one thing, my friend. Count if it's asking me select the range. Okay, here is the range. Select the complete range, which is F to F, or you can select only where the data exists. If data exists from F1 to F200. Now I am telling please count accounts. I give okay. Right, so by doing this I am able to count the entire data with few clicks. Right, ignore the dollars that I just put. We will talk about it and speak about referencing. Right, so COUNTIF can help you to figure out that within a given range find something. Right, T2 is account, so I'm telling from F1 to F200 find accounts and count them. So count if T2, which is accounts within this, and give me the summary. Similarly, the next guy within the same range, which is F1 to F200, find T3 marketing, and then this will give me the total. Right, and let's try to figure out that what we know what is COUNTIF. I have understood now that supply range you will be able to I mean give the another condition that please tell me how many people are available in a particular department, right? I will hard code it so that we can refer this later. Now let's say I have some more sectors here, like I have accounts of south, accounts of west, accounts of east, accounts of north, which are regions. Right, now I want those to be subsplit. It is you. I know you have 40 people, but tell me how many belong to north, how many to west, how many to south, and how many to east. Now, one COUNTIF can do is only check how many accounts people are there, but it doesn't know how many are from north. Now, what do? Is we have another option called which part do you want me to repeat? There's a question to repeat, but I'm not sure which one to repeat. But if it is related to COUNTIF, I will quickly do it for you. COUNTIF means I am telling, give me a range, right? Give me a range. Here we have a real example that we have people working in certain department, and I need to know as a summary accounts as how many people. So I say find accounts within this range and do a count of it. So it counts text of accounts within a range, count of marketing within a range, count of sales within a range, count of human resources within range, admin within a range, customer support within a range. Now we are multiplying this a little ahead, telling find accounts and people in north. That means it should have two or more conditions, right? So I will apply a filter here. Filter option is available here. The shortcut is Control Shift L. So the first one I will choose is, okay, please find accounts. The first person in question is filter only north, folks. If you observe my status bar to the left, it already shows how many people are there. Generally prefer to highlight this and do the count, just showing it is 10, but by default when you apply a filter, the numbers are available to the left. Right, so now I have got the answer that there are 10 people in north. Similarly in west, what if you have to do, I will have to again do a filter, choose department as accounts, and then choose the next one, which could be like south, let's say. There are another 10. I have to go back again here, say 10 for south. No. All this is too much of clutter. Let's try doing it with the help of a function which is available. Now, okay, right. So now let's try to do it with the help of a function which is called count if s. That means ifs. Plural form of if is ifs, multiple. Condition here is that it can agree or accept more than one argument in more than one range. So now the first range is, please find the departments and find accounts. Okay, first filter. Second filter is, I want you to go to the region. Now within this region, please tell me how many are from north. The answer is 10 because we just did it. I will do it for all so that you can see the magic, right? No efforts at all. And this is very basic English, right? Count Fs. Count Fs. The moment you hit it, the system will tell you what is the argument. It's asking you a question. Give me the first criteria, put a comma, and then give me the criteria range. Sorry, criteria range, criteria range, criteria. This can go up to 32 such length, right? So you can do check, condition, check, condition about 32 times. That now, okay. Dollar bit I will answer in a few. It is too early for us to know what is a dollar. So keep that aside. Now, if at all I need to know in accounts, there are total people, I agree. But how many belong to North? If I have to manually do it, somebody has asked me to repeat it, so I am doing it again. If I have to do it manually, I will have to say pick up accounts. How did I apply a filter? I used a Control Shift L. If you want to use it from here, you can click on this person, say filter. It will apply and remove what you want to do. So I will have to choose accounts, and then I need to choose north, right? Two filters. This range accounts, this range north. It's the same thing that a function does, which is this range and this value, this range and this value. You see the values here, accounts and north, and ranges are available here. So here is the output. Now if you sum of these, you get to see the actual number matching. There will not be even a single value difference. Let's try to do a sum of this. This will be a quick recap of what we did just now. How do I compare these two if they are same? Anybody? Anybody who can tell if these two numbers are same? Yeah, what is the work of filters? There is a question. I will answer that. Can five of them please suggest how do I compare with the value u is equal to value z, which is basically z2 is equal to u2. How do I write it? Right. That reminds me to tell you another function of Excel. It's a little advanced, but I will tell you. Right, so now if I want to compare these two numbers, I will say is compare this number with this. All of them are true. Obviously, my answer is true. Right, so there may be situations where you will have to work on passwords or sensitive information. Can I do a comparison? Are both of these same? You have the data in front of you. Are both of these same? Is there a way that you can really get to the core data of it, right? Let's say that you have to generate password for somebody and send it to. Is Excel case sensitive? Functions, no, it is not case sensitive. For other stuff, it is free. You can use the way. Right, so now I am using a comparison operator telling that y10 has a camel case Nadeem, which is first letter capital, rest of all in lowercase, and z10 having same Nadeem but n is in lowercase. The output very obviously is true, but if I have to send this information to somebody as a password, maybe it will be wrong. To give away with this, we have another beautiful function called exact. It allows only two arguments where you can check it. If you observe the output is false, it is very true. Why it is false is because the first letter here is different. But if you use equals to, it is actually checking that the text written here, which is alphabet NADEM, NADEM is equal to it. So there is a difference. Equals to works really good or beautifully when it talks about numbers, but when you want to compare text, try using exact. Right, just good to know information, not really required that you need to stress on it. Right, so now we know what is count, count F, count A, and count blank. We also spoke about count if S, which is you can add more than one condition and then calculate it. So I will hard code this. This worksheet is available on your system, and the recording is also available just in case if you want to go back and listen to it. You can do it. Right, so there is a question that is being asked again and again. How are you resizing the columns quickly? Selecting the column, pressing Alt O. You can observe my screen on the top. C A. It will auto adjust the column width. W stands for. Okay, so there's a question. Can you apply the filter again for accounts and region as north? The output is 10. If you refer the table which we just created, accounts and north is 10. It's exactly what the COUNTIF function did for us. Right, so now if you have your Excel, try exploring this and do ask questions if you have any. There is a question here. What is the work of filters? Work of filter is to filter. I mean, it can shorten your bigger data into small and helps you search what you're looking for. Just give me 1 minute. I hope my screen is visible. What is north? Okay, so I mean, there is a question. Please explain what is north, east, west, south. These are 4 different zones. How can you count the department? We used COUNTIF. these are the people in a department. We used count if, and we wanted to know the next level of accounts and not we used count fs. I wish it's too late. I mean, I wish I could have explained the date part again, but you may have to refer the recording. Too much of stuff to close in a very small period. Right, so somebody had asked the question. Sorry, the screen was not visible. How to calculate the count the department? So we selected the column F and asked find each department which is available here. That is count the entire range and department from here, and then so on for others. For zones, we did was count F, select the range where accounts exist, select the range where north exists, and specify the region there. Yeah, definitely I will take you through. So there's a question, do we cover pivot tables as well? Yes, we will talk about pivot table as well. How to calculate percentage. Alto S, Alto CA is used Lingaraj. The question, what is Alto S for? So the text here is overlapping to P. I want to auto adjust this. If I have to do so, I'll have to go to my screen here, and I'll have to tell the system that, you know what, here, please auto adjust the column width. Instead of all that, I use the old shortcut, which is Alto CA, to auto adjust the width. That's the user. If somebody is joining today for the first time or missed something yesterday's class, I recommend you to please refer the recording, which is available in your portal. What is the function of dollar sign? Okay, what is the use of dollar sign? Just stay with me for like some more time. We have good half an hour, so I will talk about referencing. What is actually referencing means and how does it work? Now, while we move on, I want to know, can somebody tell me that, you know, that there is so much of information available here, but let us try to summarize with some more information, which is, can you tell me what is the biggest or the highest salary? What is the lowest salary? What is the average salary? What is the total salary? To refer all of this, I have, let's say, earnings here, earnings, but salary. So let's say I'm asking, can you tell me what is the highest salary? Well, Excel has an inbuilt feature called max. You just need to select that. Please select this range, the complete range, close it. Anywhere there are numbers, it will figure out and tell you what is the biggest salary in that particular column. Similarly, if you want to know the lowest salary, use is min, select the range and close it. I get to see the smallest salary. If you want to know the average, then I will say average and select the cell, close it, get to see the average salary. If you want to know the total, I want to say sum, select the range and close it. So you get to see each of the attributes with the help of functions itself. Right? Max to know the biggest number within a range, min to find the smallest number within a range, average to find the total numbers divided by the number of times these are occurred, which is the arithmetic mean. Then you have your sum, which is the total of all the numbers. So this is max, min, etc., etc. Now let's try to extrapolate and get some information like max salary of accounts. How do we calculate? Right, so there is a beautiful function called maxfs. It has three arguments, primary or very basis. You need to at least supply three arguments. First one is max range, obviously all the numbers. That is my maximum range. Next is whom do you want the max? So I want accounts maximum. So I will say, okay, here is the department where accounts is existing. I will say, please find data for accounts. Dollar symbol, what it is, I will tell you. I got the answer for all of it, telling that everybody, I mean, maximum salary in each department is 98,000. Now, similarly, can I do it for minimum salary? Yes, it is possible. How do I do it? All I need to do would be is change that max to min. I got the minimum salary of somebody. Here I don't have any minimum. There is only one person. Both minimum maximum is same number. Now, if you want to calculate average of department, then you use average FS. Average FS can consider take more arguments. Average if will take only one argument. I mean one condition. So I want average of this against department. My departments are available here. So here you go. I got the average salary for each department. The last one is not having any because there's a lot of messages here. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, I think we answered the question. There's a question, is there a way to figure out who has got the highest salary? Yeah, you need to use multiple functions to identify who that person is. That is possible. Thanks for the information, Rajesh. Lowest, what we have to say, minimum. If you want to talk about low, you talk about there is interesting explanation. Okay, two things. Somebody is telling count if max, count max. I don't know if some such function exists. No, there is no such function called count max or sum max. Okay, so what is the difference between maxif and maxifs? Well, max does not have if s, it has only s. Max A is alphabet. You have average if and average if s. Well, average if can take only three arguments, which is range, criteria, average. Whereas average if s can take average range and criteria is up to 32. You can check north, east, west, south, maybe month, maybe something else, something else. So average if s is more superior than average f. Average f is a old dated function. No problem. Don't need to ask sorry for that. Okay, so here we cover the ground functions of how to get some numbers getting calculated. So it starts with counting alphabets, which is counting a particular text, counting blanks, counting numbers and text, then counting specific criteria, which is like accounts, counting multiple criteria, summing total or getting minimum, getting maximum, getting average with a condition, getting some getting some with a condition is also possible, getting average with a function. We have already learned minimum, maximum, etc. So just like we spoke about uh, count fs, sum fs, count fs, we have something called as sum fs. So I will say that what is the total salary given only for accounts. So count will not work here. Instead, you will use as a sum if you want to know the total. But if you want to know zone wise, then you will have to use sum if s, because it can accommodate more than one criteria. So it's telling, please tell me the range you want to consider. So I will choose the range as the department, and my department is available in column T. That's not going to change. Now I want to know the sum range, the place where numbers are available. So I will go to the place where salary exists, select the complete column, close. So the total salary paid to each department is available here. The function we used is sum if. You can use sum if s, only difference is that the sum range will come first, the criteria range will move to the last. Okay, there's an attendance link. Please use of it and post your attendance so that it can be tracked. Right, so now with this we cover some commonly used functions. I will now be moving to the next part of it, and most commonly asked question, which is why the dollar symbol, what the dollar symbol. In Excel, we call it as referencing. It's called as referencing. There are different type of referencing. I will talk about it with some examples. So let's say I have I'm creating some random numbers so that you guys can follow me. Don't follow all this. Right. So now I am telling the system that, you know what, let's assume that family ABC, and this is their earning, and there is a government subsidy against this earning. If you have, they will give you some amount of subsidy, right, which is 5% of your earnings. 7% if you are in Karnataka, then it is 5. If you're in Kerala, then 7. If you're in AP, it is 8%, then TN, etc., etc. Now let's say I want to calculate subsidy of these people. How do I calculate? I need to know would be is, okay, let me first introduce what is an if condition, so that you can relate this particular table. Some questions on the board. Okay, so please pardon me if I've missed any of the questions. You may have to refer the recording for you to answer them. I will go back to the same example we chose at the beginning of. Right, so now I have some item mentioned here. All I need to understand is this a fruit or not a fruit? the output is going to be, I'm all expected to answer is this a fruit or it is not a fruit? So I know that my data has only apple. This can be like till here, so I made it small. I'm telling if it is apple, the output should be fruit. If it is anything other than apple, it should show us not a fruit. Right. So is there a way that you can do it? So if I have to do it manually, is it a fruit? Yes. Is it a fruit? No. Is it a fruit? Yes. Is it a fruit? Yes. Is it a fruit? No. Is it a fruit? No. Is there a way that I can do it with the help of Excel? Yes, we use conditional statement called if, which can take more than one condition. So for now, let's talk only about single condition. I will have to supply three arguments. First and second is mandatory. Third one is optional. You can ignore it. By default, it will show us false. If n3 is equal to apple, now you need to take care of this. Quotes means you are supplying text into the system. If you don't put quote, that means it is a number, and only numbers can be allowed, not text. Right? So we use if n3 is equal to apple, then when I say then, I mean to say is I am done with the testing. The output of this is going to be a boolean, just true or a false. What if it is a true? Yes, if it is true, then it is a fruit. If not, it is a not a fruit. And I close it. See that my arguments are completed. I'm only allowed to close it. Now I can do is copy paste this. It has done the calculation by itself. Now that is the beauty of if, is that it only accepts an argument telling compare two stuff. Right here it is comparing two texts, and the output of it is going to be true or a false. So whatever comes true, the output of that will be in the next cell. False can be optional. If you ignore it, wherever it is not a fruit, it will show it as false. I will do a demo for you so that you can refer them. The formula will still be accepted, but for the others it will show as false. Right. So here I'm able to summarize my data. How many times, I mean, it is a fruit, how many times it is not a fruit. Let's say I will want to increase this with a mango. Right. So now I will drag this. I don't know the order of it. Now this is simple of understanding a straightforward if. There is only one condition, that if you find a text apple, call it as it's a fruit. If not, it is not a fruit. Now we are talking about two more fruits which are available, which is apple, cherry, mango. Right? So we have three fruits. What do I do now to ensure that you are able to differentiate? If I use the same formula again, obviously wherever apple is available, only there it will show it as a fruit. But for all others, it will say it is not a fruit. So for example, I apply filter for you and not choose apple, choose a cherry, mango. See, it is telling it is not a fruit. Why? Because your if does not have that condition at all. You are not checking that if it is a cherry, what should you show? So I will go back and rewrite my formula with the help of a or, which is I will delete then start from if or either of the statement is true. This is equal to apple, or same cell is equal to cherry, or same cell is equal to a mango. Then, and I say then, I'm done with the testing bit. I'm telling what should you show? It is a fruit, else it is not a fruit. I'm getting carried away. Now let's filter out and see if These are showing as fruit. Yes, these are fruits. Let's do it the other way. We'll choose this column, say not a fruit. See, pen, bulb, chair are not fruits. How did it happen? We used an OR operator. We used an OR operator to define, which means either one of them can be true. Very similar to this, there is an AND condition as well. You can use that as well. Then it is able, if you are able to figure out that if any one of these are matching, declare it as it is a fruit. If none of these are matching, then it will go by default to false condition, which is not a fruit. I hope this is clear with what is an if condition. Now here I am telling that if you are from KK, let me rearrange the order so that copy paste does not work. If this person is equal to Kerala, okay, then the commission value would be, or sorry, the subsidy would be 5%. I'm only referring to cells, okay. I'm telling if this person is equal to Karnataka, then the subsidy would be this. Put another comma, say if this cell is equal to Andhra Pradesh, AP, then value should be 8%. If this cell is equal to Tamil Nadu, then the value should be this, otherwise 0. So I've opened about 4 times if for 4 times, so I need to close 4 ifs. So I got the value that since you belong to Kerala, this current cell I'm referring to is Kerala, so it's showing as 7%. Now let's try to copy and paste this here. Just observe what happened, right? Just keep your eyes here than any other output. What changed? All I did was copy, paste. I will do another copy and paste here. What happened was the cell which is there in order when copy pasted, it moved accordingly. Now if you don't want it to move, you need to do would be is something called as referencing, which is using dollars. So B became C, C became D, K became L, L became M. Similarly, wherever the data comes, it will keep moving, right? Now here we don't want the column and the row to move, right? So we have 4 type of referencing, which is absolute column, absolute row, then relative column, relative row, relative column, absolute row, absolute column, but relative. I will tell you what exactly and why it is. Absolute column, absolute row is no matter where I copy paste this area should not change. Now, if I paste it from A to B, B to C, C to D, or from column B to C, C to D, D to E, will this change? No, it will not change. So this is going to be like absolute column, absolute row. The output of it is also going to be absolute column, absolute row. Now let's try putting dollars in both the places. So the example of absolute column is something like this. That means the dollar before the alphabet means it is absolute column. The dollar before the number means it is absolute row. If there are no dollars, that means it is relative row, relative column. That is what has happened here. If I move this from here to here, it will also move its relevance, that I need to move from B to C. The corresponding data should also move from one column to the other. Here we prefer to fix these and tell that no matter what happens, you are not going to change, which is KK will remain in its own place and this subsidy will remain in its own place. How do we do that? I will tell that, you know what, J2 is KK is not going to change. I'm pressing F4 on my keyboard. K2 is going to change. No, it is not going to change. So I will put the dollar there also. Is J3 going to change? No, J3 is not going to change. K3 is going to change, which is this guy. No, it is not going to change. J4, which is AP, is it going to change? No, it is not. Similarly, K4, no. J5, no. K5, no. Now quickly observe what happens now. Each of the numbers have their own values. Okay? Getting me? What is this referencing that we have learned is absolute column, absolute row. A typical example is that you want to refer a data to a single stagnant place which is not changed. We use this absolute column, absolute row. By default, Excel within same sheet, if you are working, will have relative column, relative row, which means it will not have dollars by itself. You need to add them. How to add them? Just while typing itself, press F4 into any cell, it will add the range. Now, I want to tell the system that please copy this and apply it to them. Oh, something has gone wrong again. Now, anybody who can tell me what has gone wrong? Just observe my screen. So this guy is referring to B12, which is the actual state for this particular place. Now here it has moved from B12 to B13. You observe all the B's have become B13. Now if I go one row below, it will move to B14. If I go one row below, it will move to B15. So what kind of referencing I'm looking for is, please don't change the row. The column can change, right? KL should absolutely become KK. KK should absolutely become TN. TN should absolutely become AP, but the row should remain 12. If I want to do that, I will tell, okay, please remain at 12. B can change to C, C can change to D, D can change to E. So wherever there is B, I will tell only the number to be remain anchored there itself. Now if I copy paste, I get to see the value for each one of them. Now if I click on this, I get to see that, okay, I'm referring to TN column within this table, right? Okay, now let's try to understand or calculate what will be the sum of subsidy. We know the percentage now. I need to know the sum of it. Repeat this part again. Yeah, I can do that. Just 1 minute. Right. I don't want to do a control Z. It's hardly an effort though. Yeah. So previously, let's do it from the beginning. What goes? Nothing. Right. So we wrote one formula telling if B12 is equal to KK, which is J2, then this should be the output. If B12 is equal to this, then this should be the output. If B12 is equal to this, then this is the output. So that is the if function we wrote, and we got to know the output for first row, first guy KL. It is matching, right? KL is 7% and it is KL 7%. But what happens if I paste it to KK? It's gone. Why did it go? Because here it is fine. You are moving to C12, sorry, your correct column is moved. Row is remaining as is because you're in the same row, but these have moved. If I copy paste it further, it will move further to the next column. If I copy paste it further, it will move to the next column. We don't want that to happen. So we tell that this table will never change. That means absolute column, absolute row. So we put dollars wherever I am referring to this point. So I am referring to J2. J2 will never change. Output of K2 will never change. So I will put F4 wherever my reference table is. I am simply pressing F4 and I copy paste it. Now you can see that the value is available for one row. But if I move rows below, it loses its value. Though the table I'm referring to is not moving, but the data point that I'm referring to, KL, is moved. Why? Because there is no referencing for B12. It's telling relative row, relative column. That means if you move, I will also move. Now I'm telling you need to remain in row number 12. To do that, anchor it by putting $12. B should become C, right? Because KL should become KK. So I cannot put a dollar to B. So I put a dollar to B here, here, and here. Right. So I got the output. The answers are available on the screen, and it just moved. What kind of referencing we did? This is combination of mixed referencing and absolute referencing. So we used absolute column, absolute row, and relative column, relative column and absolute row. Right. So the column should remain at, keep moving as we paste, but the row should remain stagnant. Now let's try to calculate the final amount or final earning with subsidy. So I will redo the same stuff, which is I will paste the family here, their names, the family names. All I need to do would be is say this into this plus this. Right. So if I have to do it like this, I'll say this into the columns are incorrect. There is a beautiful feature called VLOOKUP, but I don't want to introduce it at the moment. Let's restrict to this. Okay. So let's say this is subsidy from government of, yeah. Let's add some more local subsidy based on family. So state does not matter here. All that is required is if you are belonging to some family, the value will change. So I will create another table for your reference and try to get some percentages for it. This time we will try to talk about absolute column, relative row. So let's say family A, B, C, D, E, and let's say 2%, 3%, 7%, 9%, and then 10%. Sorry. Right, so let's do the first one. State does not matter here. All I'm telling is, let's say there is a local subsidy given by somebody. If this cell is equal to this, this is not going to change. Then the output should be this much. It is not going to change. If this cell is equal to this, then the output should be this. If the same cell is equal to this, I'm pressing F4 because I don't want that to move. Absolute column, absolute row. If this is equal to this, then this. If this is equal to this, then this. Otherwise 0. If not, it will show false. The error was I did not close all the parentheses. It asked, do you want me to autocomplete? I said okay, fine, no problem. Right, now if you observe my screen, I just do a copy paste. It has got the value for all of them except to E. Why? Because the E does not have proper referencing. K4 was not referred. Right, so I got the data for all of them. A is 2%, so is here. B is 3%, so is here. C is 7%. It is correct. Now, if you observe, then I paste it to KK. See what happens. If I paste it TN, if I paste it to AB. What happened was that because there is no referencing to column A, that you know what, no matter which state you go, the family name remains same, which is column A. Row will change from A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E. So that's why this A2 cannot only be A22, it should be $A22. Why? Because column will not change if I go here. Column will remain as is. I am telling, okay, please put a column dollar for all the columns. Rows will not have a column because rows have to change. Now I copy paste it. I got the values for each of them. So these are different type of referencing. By default, we spoke about relative referencing, where the cell is, how are you selecting the cell while typing the function? Use arrow keys to do selection here. There is a question, how are you doing selection while typing? If I'm using mouse, this is how I did the selection. I'm just clicking, right? Anyways, so here is an example, or we took an example of absolute row, absolute column, and absolute column, sorry, absolute row and relative column. In this below example, we spoke about absolute column, relative row, the row should change, and we also discussed about absolute column here. So all that we spoke here is called as referencing. To summarize, there are three type of referencing: absolute, relative, and mixed referencing. Mixed referencing could be relative column, absolute row, or absolute column, relative row. Rest of all is remaining as. So I will quickly put some examples here so that if you're referring your recording, you can talk about it. So it is relative column, absolute row. Here it is absolute column, relative row. So it's all about the game of dollar signs. So if you put it between number and alphabet, it's not never going to change. If you don't put it anywhere, if you copy paste it, it will change both the ways, both the direction, which is row wise also, column wise also. But if you put it on the alphabet and not to number, that number will not change, alphabets will change. But if you put it on the alphabet, not on number, then alphabet will remain as is, number will not change. So here is an example of how to fix for alphabet. Here is an example of how to fit for a number. Both of these have the options or explanation of how to use absolute referencing. It's 9 o'clock exactly on my watch. Interesting stuff. A lot of things that we discussed. Tomorrow when we'll start using the same file again. The file is available on your folder, and you can refer the recordings again to know more about what we discussed. I would really appreciate if you practice these stuff before you join tomorrow. We will discuss a little more of more in detail of the next process. File is not available, kindly share it. You can go to LMS and check it. Okay, so anybody who's listening to this session or who's available here, one humble request is this platform does not encourage sharing of your personal information, be it mine or yourself. Avoid sharing any form of contact information with anybody. It is highly discouraged. Do not do it. So am I not allowed to share my contact number? If there is anything, do get back to the ExcelR team. They should be able to handle questions. Great. It was a fun-filled session. I hope you enjoyed too. Do get back to us tomorrow, same time. We will have a lot more learning tomorrow on your way. That's it from my side. Have a lovely evening. Bye, folks.
Amar,
Yes, Tirmal.
you want to tell anything, or can I
Yeah,
wind up?
one moment.
Okay.
Guys, if you have any question regarding to the LMS, please drop a mail on edl@excelr.com. Our team will help you. Okay.